Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about from season 4, episode 5, what a long, strange trip it's been. And boy, that is a title. This right here is what I've been talking about. This is how the season 4 premiere should have started off. They started off too tame, too slow, and slowly building up with each episode. But this fifth episode was a doozy. This is what got me hooked into From. The paranormal, the psychological, and the horror. Boy, when those things bust through the cabin, my eyes bugged out and I was on the edge of my seat because I was not expecting that. I was expecting like the monster people, but I was not expecting that. Oh my God. So we're getting more answers. We're getting closer to some big reveals and everything. People are on their side quests and everything. There's some nice paranormal, psychological paranormal type stuff going on. And there's some monstrous type stuff going on. But it ain't the monster people. Still, I can't believe this is one of those. Okay, let's see if this will stick on the wall because these things have never been seen before. Where the heck have they been? Like, seriously, and why are they just showing up now? This is something that should have shown up like a while back. But wow, like I'm just like holy crap. I had to hurry and record this before I go to bed because I was gonna watch this one television show that I just discovered that was out 10 years ago. But I'll finish watching that later. I gotta talk about this. Man, I still can't believe what happened. So, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna recap in no particular order and everything. I'm gonna start off with the people who barely had anything to do. And then I'm gonna work my way up to the juicy stuff. And speaking of people who haven't done anything yet, where the heck is Officer Danny? She's been missing for 3 episodes now. She hasn't been seen since episode 2. Sarah's not in this episode. Kenny is barely in this episode. Fatima is barely in this episode. The diner lady, bus driver lady, she's basically a guest appearance at this point. Like, she's never done anything in this show, and she's never witnessed she's witnessed on the paranormal type scary stuff, but it's never affected her. And so they had to make way for this crazy trip. And the CGI that followed, it was pretty good CGI. I give them that. And rest in peace to the dude who was an extra on this show. I knew once this dude started doing stuff in the show and talking, I'm all like, nah, something's gonna happen to him. Cause this show really doesn't do extras, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start off with Julie and Randall. They really don't do much, and she does not dream walk in this episode. She's frustrated and everything. That, like, she wants to save her dad and she wants to be able to go to her own destination and can't do it. But he's worried and everything. Like, he's all like, you don't really know what you're doing. What if you have a really bad seizure and everything, and I'm unable to snap you out of it? So they argue a bit about that. So there's not really too much going on with them. And Lord, that hairstyle is killing me. It's killing me. That, no, she should have cut it cuter than that. Like, seriously, man, that's just a horrible hairstyle. We get a brief scene with Fatima and Kenny. He basically just wants to apologize for not believing her and stuff like that. And she seems kind of annoyed while she's still doing her Gollum, and it's a whole lot life size now. And Kenny hasn't really done that much this season. Like he was supposed to take over for Boyd, but of course he came back and everything. Especially because Boyd has like Parkinson's and stuff like that. And they chat up a little bit here and there. And I forgot to mention in the last video that she has a connection, she feels like, to that thing she gave birth to, Smiley and everything. And, funny story, I actually saw a picture of him today, like at a convention. His face, cheeks, and smile are 100% real. And so they just have like a brief chat, this and that, and, stuff like that. Henry is still dealing with the information he learned from last episode about how Miranda died getting eaten by the man in the yellow jacket, or man in the yellow suit, I should say. And he can't cope with it, so he gets drunk like a skunk. He's hitting that moonshine hard and everything. A big old jar full of it. And he's completely out of it to where Kenny and Victor have to help him and stuff. Because he's singing, he's playing the piano, but he's playing a song that disturbs Victor and everything. And so he doesn't do anything outrageous. He does try to, like, when they try to calm him down, he's like feisty and everything. But he pretty much passes out from being drunk. I've always liked Henry. Like, I always wonder what kind of dad was he going to be on this show. And I was worried that he was going to be a horrible father to Victor, but he's so nice and kind. So it sucks to see him like this. But this man has lived for decades not knowing what the heck happened to his family. And now he finds out that his son's a little cuckoo in the head and older, and his wife got eaten. Speaking of which, still no mention of the sister. What is the deal with this? Does she exist or does she not? I don't know what the heck is going on with the sister. The father didn't even mention her in this episode. He mentioned Victor and he mentioned Miranda, but no mention of his daughter. I don't think he's ever mentioned his daughter since he appeared in season 3. So what is the literal deal with this? I have no idea. So Mariella, I forget how you say her name, Chrissy's girlfriend, they finally gave her something to do. This woman literally has not done anything since season 2 and everything. And so we finally now know what the heck happened to her when she was in that paranormal coma type state in season 2. So basically, the man in the yellow suit wants to have a little fun with her. He starts like traumatizing her and stuff. When she's in the ambulance and she's grabbing something shackles her hand, and she's shackled now to like the wall of like the ambulance. And she's spazzing out like she did a long time ago. Chrissy tries to talk to her, try to see what's going on and everything. And then at some point in time, Sophie, the man in yellow, grabs her by the hand so he can have a real good contact and screw up with her mind. She's shackled once again, hollering and screaming, and she finally reveals to Chrissy, because every person has a different experience. Chrissy's experience is that she can feel the pain of everybody who's ever died in that land. And there are hundreds of thousands of people who have died in that land. And so it's just too much for her to deal with and everything. and it's just so much sorrow and pain and experience it. And the man in the yellow jacket is all like, maybe you're like a prophet or something like that, or something like that. I can't remember what she said and stuff. Now, as for the man in yellow, Sophie, she's just eavesdropping on everybody's conversation and stuff. Randall and Julie, like Chrissy and is it what the heck is her name? Oh, something like Michelle, kinda. Marielle, something like that. And so, with her little sinister grin and everything, and it's just kind of like, what is his deal? Like, we've never seen him infiltrate like a society before. What is it he's trying to gain from this? Also, how powerful is he? And how is he able to observe what's going on? Because in season one finale, he knew that they was creating a radio trying to like get out of there to contact somebody. And he told Jim to stop it. And he's able to cause things to happen from like, but it seems to be a close distance because, or it has to be a faraway distance because in those other seasons he was never close to them. And and Chrissy also says, like, not Chrissy, but Marielle, or whatever, said that there's something dark here that's feeding off our pain and sorrow and stuff. And of course, that's the man in the yellow jacket. But what exactly is the deal? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is he able to observe from far away distance and make things happen and stuff? Or he has to be in proximity to make things happen? This is still not yet explained, and it really needs to be explained. So I'm gonna do Tabitha and Donna and all of them first. Oh, something I left out from the last episode. Ethan found like a bird that was hurt and he was trying to nurse it back together. He gave it some water, thinking it's the Lake of Tears, but it died and everything. And he was surprised to find the bird because the only birds there are crows and stuff. But anyway, so like, Ellis and Tabitha, Ethan, Donna, and two background characters are out searching for food. Remember, I said that one of the background characters found something in the lake. So they start like tugging on it, pulling it out, and it looks like a bunch of bodies and stuff. And background characters all like, we should just leave this alone, don't touch it. But all the other ones are like, nah, maybe this can help us, like, figure out what's going on or something like that. And when he said that, I'm just like, something's gonna happen to him. Like, it has to. Something's gonna happen, and it does later on. So, anyways, it's not bodies they found. Donna assumes that they're scarecrows and everything. And my hat is off to the people who are designing some of this stuff. This is a true artist. There is some very, very stunning imagery that is creepy and disturbing with the way they do statues and dolls and other kind of stuff, right? But she assumes that they're scarecrows. And so Ellis wants to open them up to make sure, oh no, she wants to open them up to make sure there ain't no other kind of surprise in there, right? So at some point in time, somebody's all like, well, hold up. Why do people have scarecrows to keep away, like, crows and everything? So she thought these things were in the water. Maybe there's something in the water that, like, that the scarecrows are supposed to scare away that could get them and everything. So they stuff them full of rocks and they dump them back out into, like, the water, right? And so later that night, they're in like a cabin and everything. And all I could think of is, oh, the monster people gonna come. But they never show up. I'm all like, this is what they do. They like taunt people and stuff, you know? And so, like, I was just waiting for them to show up. And then Tabitha remembers something from her past life. Those aren't scarecrows, they're dolls, and they used to be smaller. What happened was when she was a little girl in that land in one of her past lives and everything, she had a bunch of dolls, but these dolls creeped this one man out and gave him nightmares. So he took the dolls and he threw them into the water. And when he died, his nightmares came to life. And as soon as she said that, boom, one of the dolls buzzed through the cavern, all giant, life size and everything. Now they was already life size, now they're giant. And they just start like wreaking havoc and they kill the background character guy. He just literally just like ripped his jaw open and shoved his hand all down his throat, killing that dude. So, and Tabitha's all like, the talismans aren't gonna save them for this new threat and everything. And so they're running, they're screaming, they're hiding, and all I could think of, where are the monster people? Where are the monster people? Because they're out in the open and they don't have talismans and stuff. And so she starts to see this one statue. Now, the other background character got half her face burnt and everything, but Ellis went and saved her. And then they grabbed Donna. I'm all like, no, not the Goosebumps lady from that not haunted house, the Dead House episode. I'm all like, don't kill Donna. She's from Goosebumps. I'm a Goosebump fan, man. Like, I'm all like, I know I said like this show needs to get rid of some dead weight, but not her. So she's about to get it, but then Tabitha remembered how to kill these things. She took that freaky looking statue she found and she stabbed the monster, and it died. So it's kind of like, okay, what's the deal with these weird metal statues and stuff? And how is it able to kill these like nightmarish monsters? But also, could it kill the monster people? I wonder. And so this is like, a nice little weapon they have, just like talismans and stuff. They now have a defense at least against like the nightmare monsters and stuff. Now the nightmare monsters are completely new. And it took them way too long to bring them into the show. But nevertheless, it was that jump scare that I needed. Now on to Jade and his like drug tripping. We get some interesting reveals when he trips and everything. And I still think this dude, if they ever reboot like Marvel, he could play Tony Storm. No, Tony Stark. I mean, like he really could. He could be Iron Man. But anyway, so he's tripping hard, and Boyd is there to like make sure he doesn't do anything dumb. So they go out into like the woods, and while he's there, he sees like the one of the like his hallucinations, and with the skull with blood in there, and he wants Jade to drink it, but Jade doesn't want to, and Boyd tells him, do it. But he also sees a younger version of himself playing a violin and a really sad song from when his grandmother died. So he drinks the blood, but his younger self said, no, I didn't want you to do that. And like, you can't force what you want to see. Like, cause he asked, I want to see this, that. It don't work that way. And now he's going to see bad stuff he doesn't want to. He sees a bunch of spiders here and there, and then he goes back to Colony House. There are four men but violins. Three of them are playing, and one's kind of like, all bloody and stuff. So he's trying to figure out what's the connection and everything. His younger self is trying to help him. And Jade finally realizes what the connection is. These aren't hallucinations, and they're not necessarily people from the past. They're him being reincarnated. Those are other versions of him. Once you die, your soul goes into the next body and stuff. But then he starts to look deeper, and he realizes something. All of these men are dead, but they're not ripped apart by the monster people. They were murdered, and he realizes the people who murdered them were the townspeople. But the question is, why? Like, why would the townspeople constantly kill him? And always him and Tabitha and everything. And his younger self reveals that, saying that eventually the townspeople realize that he is responsible for something with the children and everything. And then they become angry, and then they go after him and they kill him. So it's something it's something these kids, they do something, either that's connected to Jade, and it just pisses off every townspeople. And this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. I'm assuming the reincarnation cycle is and stuff. And so it's like, wait, hold up. So does that mean the people in this town are going to do the same thing? So why are they doing that for? And then he asks, what about Tabitha? And the little boy says, oh, it's way worse for her. So what the heck do they do to her and everything? I'm assuming maybe she gets eaten by like the man in like the yellow suit, which would be worse than getting killed by the townspeople. And so like eventually they are going to reveal this more about why the townspeople are always killing Jade. But then he goes inside Colony House and he finds a door. Well, actually, no, wait. He goes in the Colony House, but it looks like he's kind of in the church or in that cave. And then he finds a door. So him and Boyd, they go through the door and it leads them into tunnels and everything. And Boyd's all like, look, man, we gotta go. It's late and there's always monster people down here. So Jade's like, screw that. I'm still looking and following my younger self. And he starts to get surrounded by the monster people. I'm all like, oh no, they're gonna kill him and everything. So they just start surrounding him, walking all slow. They grab him and they bury him alive, only for him to wake up at the post office. See, him and Boyd never left the post office. He's just been tripping that whole thing. But his hallucination was real, revealing those answers. So this is something I can't wait until the finale and they reveal what all this crazy stuff means. So yes, this is the episode I have been waiting for. I have been waiting for a freaky deaky type episode that this show is known for doing. But like they haven't really done that in these last couple of episodes. And there aren't that many episodes left. There's only like 5 more and everything. So things are gonna start popping soon. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.